Welcome to Grimworld. Today, we dive into the history of King Henry VIII and even discuss his horrific final days facing death. King Henry VIII's reign from 1509 to 1547 is typically remembered by his enormous appetite and his infamous 6 wives. History also documents his actions of sending Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard to their deaths at the Tower of London on the executioner's block. An active young fellow, King Henry had many accidents, whether it was jousting, which was considered a masculine sport in the medieval realm, in which Henry, at 32 years old in 1524, was lanced across his face above his right eye. Yeah, that definitely led to migraines for the rest of his life. You could count on that. At 44, while wearing armor, he was thrown from a horse during a tournament. You know these horses are heavy and powerful. The horse fell on him, and he was knocked unconscious. Now, these accidents and many others may have indicated irreversible brain trauma, which could have been blamed for his horrible temper and violent actions that were known to be frequent and normal behavior from the damn king. King Henry VIII's last days were hard and tough, as you can imagine. His physical decline was apparent, and it was obvious he highly depended on others. It was known that he was super lazy too. He weighed about 400 pounds. That's like 3 of me combined. Can you imagine trying to get around with that weight in those days? There's no escalators, elevators, no recliners. You just got a bunch of wooden chairs and stiff horses. Yeah, he's screwed. There weren't many luxuries and conveniences that we are used to today. He had a 54-inch waist, which was a contrast to his younger build. You see, the problem is that his health conditions were not being addressed due to the fear by his doctors and other people around him. You see, his doctors couldn't tell him he was at risk of dying because of the Treason Act, which forbade predicting the monarch's death. So it's like the equivalent of just having a bunch of yes people around you, or people telling you whatever you want to hear for the most part. It is recorded that the Archbishop Thomas Cranmer broke the news to King Henry VIII, with some of his last words reported being about needing sleep before deciding on a priest. His exact cause of death has been debated, but it's most likely a combination of factors like obesity, leg ulcers, and other things related. Now let's get into some horrific details. In King Henry VIII's last years, his huge leg ulcer caused him great pain. According to Historic.uk, by 1546, Henry had become so large that he required wooden chairs to carry him around and hoists to lift him. He needed to be lifted onto his horse, and his leg continued to deteriorate. According to biography.com, historians and medical experts have also speculated that Henry suffered from a number of other issues, including Cushing's syndrome, diabetes, and syphilis. Reports of the ulcers on his legs constantly being filled with large amounts of pus gushing out as he attempted to walk, some say is the result of constrictive leg garters used for jousting back in the day. He eventually suffered from sexual dysfunction, which bruised a lot more than his ego, and he grew depressed and angry. His mood swings were violently fatal. You know damn well all his wives were running around trying to get out that damn house. He couldn't exercise if he wanted to. He was gaining weight every day, you see, because he never really stopped eating. It was all he had left. His enormous appetite was certainly his biggest enemy. You could only swallow your misery and pain for so long, as I learned every night once the ice cream pitcher's empty. He developed gout, which meant he could no longer straddle a horse on his own, let alone sit down. On King Henry VIII's deathbed at the Whitehall Palace, he spoke, "I will first take a little sleep, and then, as I feel myself, I will advise upon the matter." King Henry VIII finally died in January 1547, aged 55. His big bad son, Young Edward became king at the young age of 9, reigned for 6 years, died at 15 as a teenager from what was assumed tuberculosis. You've been listening to Grimworld, the real world, the official channel. Do you like this story? Don't forget to subscribe and check out our Spotify. It's free. Do you think you could survive back then without your Grubhub and iPhone? What about your Uber, bitch?